सब्सक्राइब कीजिए हमारे चैनल डिफेसिस को और दबाइए बेल बटन को ताकि आपको मिल सके हमारी वीडियोस की अपडेट सबसे पहले।
The Navy is not in favor of an offer by Hindustan Aeronautics Limited for an upcoming Rs 21,000 crore Make in India contract, as its chopper does not meet requirements and there is a dire need to establish alternative capability in the private sector to manufacture modern aircraft. Sources said that the naval version of the advanced light helicopter that is being offered does not meet basic qualitative requirements and is unsuitable for the role required, including urgent search and rescue missions at sea. As reported, the naval utility helicopter plan, originally planned for the private sector under the strategic partnership model, is going through a tussle after Hindustan Aeronautics Limited entered the fray and has requested the government to be included. The advanced light helicopter has a rigid rotor head and has been designed for high-altitude operations, where it is very good at. The problem is that the design limits it in terms of the blade folding capability. In missions such as search and rescue, every minute is precious and the advanced light helicopter just takes too much time to be deployed, a source said. While the Navy is already operating the advanced light helicopter in a utility role, it requires 111 helicopters for deployment on board ships to carry out multiple roles, including surveillance and ferrying supplies. The requirement is urgent and a specialized chopper is needed that can be quickly deployed and retrieved and can be stored in the space-constrained hangar on board all vessels. The process to acquire the choppers is already in advanced stages with 4 Indian companies shortlisted who can partner with a foreign technology provider to make the helicopters domestically. However, the final selection is stuck after Hindustan Aeronautics Limited put in a representation. In the original tender document, it was specified that only private sector companies are eligible to take part in the contest. Sources said that there is a need to have capacity in the private sector too for manufacturing modern aircraft and the naval utility helicopter program will enable the identified winner to procure technology and skills. Besides the Navy requirement, the winning company will have a large domestic civilian market to tap, besides a robust export potential. As India completes 1 year since the abrogation of Article 370, Pakistan will observe 1 minute silence across the country to extend solidarity to Kashmiri people, in yet another attempt to rake up the Kashmir issue. Mass rallies and peace walks are planned on the day, according to Radio Pakistan. Last year, Pakistan made several attempts to intervene in the Kashmir issue, with Pakistan PM Imran Khan nominating himself as the ambassador of the Indian state. Since India abrogated Article 370, Pakistan has not stopped raising the issue at international platforms, despite several unsuccessful attempts. This, despite India making it clear more than once that the issue is India's internal matter. While Pakistan continues to sponsor cross-border terrorism in the valley, Pakistan PM Imran Khan has leveled serious allegations on the Indian government and has even peddled fake news about Indian forces in the valley. Khan has repeatedly fear-mongered and peddled fake news on Kashmir's ground situation. He has also faced defeat on an international scale after he called for global mediation into the bilateral issue. In 2019, the Government of India abrogated Article 370, that gave special rights to the erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir and bifurcated it into 2 union territories, Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. Prior to the announcement of the decision in the parliament on August 5, Centre placed the mainstream political leaders of Jammu and Kashmir in preventive detention. Additional 38,000 troops were moved in the Kashmir Valley ahead of the decision, as Centre said that there was security threat from Pakistan. Days after foreign ministers of 4 countries Nepal, Afghanistan, Pakistan and China met virtually to deal with COVID-19 crisis, Nepal Foreign Minister has dismissed any idea of creating a sub-regional group involving the 4 countries. Nepal Foreign Minister Pradeep Jayawali said, virtual conference of 4 countries was totally focused on the cooperation amidst the COVID-19. It is unnecessary and wrong to create any other type of coordination between those countries. Nepal, Pakistan, Afghanistan are members of SAARC and China is an observer of the SAARC. We are already in a single umbrella. Jaiawi rejected the idea of any plan to create the sub-regional alliance. There is no possibility, desire or plan to create another sub-regional alliance or organization comprising of those four countries. It was purely confined on cooperation on COVID-19 pandemic, he said. During the virtual meet, China called for advancing the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor and the Trans-Himalayan Connectivity Network and also said it supports the extension of China-Pakistan Economic Corridor to Afghanistan. The Nepalese foreign minister mentioned about Kalapani, Lipulek and Limpiadharu issues, saying his office has time and again asked our Indian friends to formally start the diplomatic negotiation to settle these problems, but the proposal was not responded to in a timely manner. A variant of the Astra Beyond Visual Range air-to-air missile under development with a passive imaging IR seeker might be ready for initial trials from 2022 onwards, said informed sources. Astra IR with a dual waveband, passive imaging IR seeker will provide terminal guidance that will be powered by a smokeless solid propellant with higher impulse motor for improved performance at within visual combat at the reduced range. Astra IR minimum and maximum operating ranges likely will be 500 meters to 60 kilometers due to seeker track limitation found in IR air-to-air missiles world over. Astra IR will be capable of operating in lock-on before launch and lock-on after launch modes, and IR seeker will allow the missile to autonomously detect, track and lock on the targets. Astra IR can be adapted on all fighter types in Indian Air Force since it doesn't require deep integration with the aircraft's mission computers. Astra IR is an interim medium-range air-to-air missile which has been designed to supplement Astra Mark 1 RF till work begins on a much shorter range next-generation close combat within visual range air-to-air missile to be developed by DRDO for Indian Air Force jets. DRDO also has two separate long-range air-to-air missile programs known as Astra Mark II, with dual-pulse propulsion, and Astra Mark III, with air-breathing ramjet propulsion, and next-generation close combat within visual range air-to-air missile will be developed post-completion of this longer-range missiles first as Indian Air Force moves to equip most of the fighter jets in its fleet with MBDA's RAM close combat missiles. With Chinese People's Liberation Army, PLA, dragging its feet on restoring the status quo ante along the 1,597 km line of actual control, LAC, in the Ladakh sector, the Indian Army has started preparing for a long winter as it does not want to repeat of April 2020 next year. Top government officials confirmed that the Indian Army has asked its defense attachés posted in embassies in the US, Russia and Europe to identify warm clothes and snow tent manufacturers in case there is a need for emergency purchases. After Operation Meghdoot in Siachen in 1984, the Indian Army gets all its requirements fulfilled by local manufacturers with regard to igloos, semi-hemispherical domes, down parkas, snow goggles, boots and gloves for troops guarding the heights in the western sector. While the Indian Army has matched the Chinese PLA in terms of troop strength and support elements in the Ladakh sector, its commanders totally dismiss reports of induction of over 35,000 troops recently. However, the military commanders are clear that they will have to man positions along the LAC in specific areas to prevent any PLA aggression next year. After the PLA aggression, we don't trust the Chinese and fear that they will come back again north of Pangong Tso as summer arrives in 2021, said a military commander. Although the PLA has disengaged from patrolling points 14, Galwan, 15-16, Hot Springs, a smattering of adversary troops are still on forward location at patrolling point 17A, Gorkhas, and withdrawal from all contested finger features is a distance away at the Pangong Tso. Calling Gorkha recruitment a legacy of past, Nepal Foreign Minister Pradeep Jaiawi called the 1947 tripartite agreement redundant and said that under the changed context some provisions are questionable. It was the first window opened for Nepali youths to go abroad. It created a lot of jobs in the society in past, but in changed context some provisions are questionable, said Jai Aule. Gorkhas soldiers from Nepal have been an integral part of the Indian Army for over 6 decades, and currently, there are 39 battalions serving in 7 Gorkha regiments. Last year in December, Nepal said it wanted to review a military deal which allows its citizens to be enlisted in the British Army. Jai Aule had said that the government of Nepal should also be part of the recruitment process, adding that the agreement should also consider other issues like pensions and other benefits as they are not at par with their British counterparts. India and Britain can recruit Gorkhas as per the 1947 agreement between New Delhi, London and Kathmandu. The legacy of the Gorkhas is such that Field Marshal Sam Manekshaw, who himself had the privilege of serving with the 8th Gorkha Rifles, once said, "If anyone tells you he is never afraid, he is a liar or he is a Gorkha." The Gorkha Rifles also has the honor of producing 3 Indian Army chiefs, General SHFJ Manekshaw, General Dalbir Singh Suhag and General Bipin Rawat.